Welcome Libra, this is Regina from Pacific Tarot getting ready to do your 2023 year ahead reading. I'm excited to lay out the axis of the horoscope wheel and use the wheel as a calendar. I'll be clarifying with the African Tarot and finishing up with an oracle card. This is a general reading. It may not resonate for everyone. Please read or view your sun, moon, rising signs for a fuller message or any placement that is important to you. If this reading does resonate, please like and subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. I thank you, all of you that support me in all the ways that you do. Libra, let's get started with your overall energy for 2022, the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords shows you really reverberating, bouncing back, having stripped yourself really clean of negative behavior, patterns, words, actions that you recognize now are more of a reaction than a response to betrayals, failures, heartbreaks that you have endured, particularly when it has appeared in the past that many of these opportunities seemed so promising. You have worked at understanding what your role is in each of these heartbreaks, each of these failures, and you've learned to separate yourself from any behaviors, people, or situations that do not serve you, do not respect you. And in so doing, you are coming through with a very raw and fresh opportunity in many cases. There's a likelihood that you may not, you're still getting used to the sense of release that you're experiencing, and you may be continuing to experience this ongoing effort at releasing things that don't work. This is a practice. And it's a practice that you will become increasingly conscious and in control of as the year proceeds. This is a beautiful process where you are feeling the weight of the past. Your ruminations about the past fall away from you bit by bit. It's like shedding a skin, but requires a little more engagement than simply sloughing off an external part of ourselves. This is you really understanding that you must consciously let go of habits, particularly those habits that are familiar and comfortable, and expose yourself to this new understanding you have. In January, we have the Four of Wands, and this is you establishing out of this period lasting all year, a new foundation, a new cultural, emotional, even spiritual foundation that will be the basis from which you and loved ones and collaborators and peers can grow from. This can be anything from a wedding to buying a house to establishing a community center. Those are examples of some of the things that you are visualizing in January. In April, we have the King of Swords. The King of Swords is really about gathering information and manipulating information, conversation, eliciting that what you need, examples of what you'd like to create, ideas for ways that peers or team members can contribute to a conversation or information that is helping you to collectively build something together. This is you with great objectivity, clarity, interested in the truth, but not simply your truth, but the diversity of truths and experiences that you are working with and for in an effort to expand and expose yourself to more ideas. In July, we have the Ten of Cups. This is your complete emotional satisfaction and contentment with the community that you are building. Echoing the 10 here, I'm recognizing that in July, you may be experiencing this incredible renewal as a result of this awareness that you now have, that you are letting go of a past way of life, a past identity. You are no longer identifying with the hard luck story that you have been telling yourself. You're now recognizing so much self-love, nurturance, support, and care from your peer group, your family, your collaborators, that you feel buoyant and completely in an emotional, cultural paradise that is your community. In October, the Two of Swords has you at a crossroads, looking at your options and really a bit weary from this exercise that you have now integrated into your practice, and that is recognizing that the choice before you, whatever choice that will be in October, you have the practice to understand what will serve you best. And part of that practice is really looking at the hard stuff within, really excavating your behaviors, your thoughts, your attitudes about a particular issue or environment that you're in. This may be considering two choices, recognizing that you can physically leave an old experience and move towards a new one, but it requires you to get more information, and that more information starts from within. I'm going to clarify Four of Wands in January with the Eight of Swords in February and the Moon card in March. Your desire, your vision is on point. You are clearly desiring to grow, to expand what it is you're creating, you're working on, you're understanding. You're seeking the new inspiration that you've begun to recognize comes from the work you've done within. In February, that work expands, explodes, and you may feel the pressure to make small decisions, to strategize, to figure out every possible or even impossible scenario likely. This card is a little bit of a caution to ease your anxiety, to seek your peace, and that can be going within, as in March, the going within practice that you've already begun to establish in your life, you're already benefiting from, is morphing into this conscious and unconscious alliance with all those invisible forces, your dreams, your meditation. In March, your prayer practice, your meditation practice, whatever you are doing to maintain and implement these deep understandings is bringing in your allies, your invisible allies, and protecting you so that you can explore and discover these unlikely talents, gifts, and guidance that is available to you, that has always been available to you. The King of Swords in April is clarified by the Ten of Pentacles in May and the King of Wands in June. You're working towards legacy, and the tens that you are representing the tremendous change, the leveling up, the drastic completion of one way of doing things, one way of life, one perception of yourself, is also impacting and releasing this awareness that you have always benefited from some kind of a cultural or ancestral heritage. That has always been with you. And as you become more consciously allied with your aligned with your um, guidance, your dreams, your aspirations, your unconscious desires, you are recognizing that your participation in this legacy, which has become more conscious to you, is something that you can participate in, generate, and create for others to come after you. This is you recognizing and realizing literal inheritance in May, but certainly the recognition of what you've had access to, the resources you've had can be made available, can grow in a community similar to the community that you have inherited from. So you are actively working at building wealth for your community, your family, or your industry in some way. This is quite possibly philanthropy, certainly is generosity, but it is about wealth building and continuous generation for more and more to participate in. In June, the King of Wands shows how this awareness and consciousness of your gifts, of the wealth of your gifts and resources, is gaining you confidence and clarity. Courage is lighting you up. And where you may have been a little bit underwater in the beginning of the year, maybe in the first quarter, by the second quarter, you are poised to take on the helm of leadership. The Ten of Cups in July is clarified by the Four of Cups in August and the Justice card in September. Something that you have wanted dearly, and there are at least two cards here of the kind of wish fulfillment everyone loves to get in their readings. Something that you wanted and that you're being offered doesn't look quite right to you. You're not quite in alignment with what it is. You're wondering and realizing that you've changed so much since you originated this desire, since you initiated this quest for this thing. You are asking for and receiving the things that you're asking for. You're practicing that, and I see a lot of bolstering up your meditation practice, your law of attraction practice, any of the tools in your kit to align yourself with greater abundance. You are practicing and excelling in some ways. But you are not the same person you were when this desire was initiated, and you're not sure if this is something you still want. In part, it is a recognition that what you're looking for outside of yourself actually comes from within, and that is impacting your September karma, your September equality, so that you're now understanding that the difficulties you've been through are experienced by many others, and that there's an unfairness and inequality in your practice, your employment, your project, your place of employment, your domestic environment, that is not balanced, is not fair, is not equal. And as you become increasingly aware, this is where you are doing the internal work to attend to where you are responsible for the treatment you've received or have given out, and where you are now so empowered that you can address this inequality, this injustice on behalf of yourself and your team, your community, others. The Two of Swords in October is clarified in November by the Magician card, and the Nine of Cups in December. Wow. quite a year for you, Libra. In November, it is all coming together. Where you customarily work in team with others, you are originating a new project, a new creation. You're building something that is a creation from out of these experiences of healing, and recognizing that you have all the resources you need to obtain what it is you want. By December, you are in the flow of the ability to attend to your needs and desires, taking full responsibility for moving towards things that make you feel good. And by the end of the year, this initial sense of drastic separation, shedding an old skin, dispensing of that skin, and really having to adjust this shedding process regularly as you really deeply understand and practice the understanding that you've gotten from these multiple experiences. You are now flowing through this process with appreciation, gratitude, and love for all the abundance that exists in your environment that is available to you. I'm going to finish off this reading, Libra, with an oracle card, and you can ask a question. You can pause the video if you like to formulate a question, and I'm going to grab this card. It is a serpentine, and the key word is transformation. My life is transforming at the perfect time in the most powerful way. I'm going to leave this here for you, Libra. Thank you so much for this reading. I hope this has been helpful. Namaste.